Hi students, last time we have discussed up to the topic that is what measurement of time period, and from today onwards we are going to discuss about variation of time period with length. Means here I am going to consider into two types. One is variation of time period with length, variation of square of time period with length. What will be the graphs? Okay, so let's discuss here. Means here when I am trying to discuss about a variation of time period with length at the time of the pendulum, here the graph you see here, it's not a straight line. You here it is a, we can say it's a parabola shape. Okay, we can say it's a parabola, half part of the parabola. Okay, so from here what we can say means time period of the pendulum, what to say, is not directly proportional to the length of the pendulum. Means why? The graph of the time period versus length of the pendulum is not a straight line, right? So the time period is not directly proportional to the length of the pendulum. So the question is, why it is not directly proportional to the length of the pendulum? This is the question. So let us discuss here. It is the figure for the simple pendulum. Okay, so means when you increase the length, here the question is when we increase the length. Okay, when we increase the length, whether the time period means here I am going to displace, this is the mean position, right? This is the extreme position, means you are going to displace from this extreme position, from the mean position, and keeping it somewhere, that is the extreme position, and you are going to release it. Okay, at a time it will start oscillating one like it. This means the time taken to complete one oscillation, that is the time period, right? Means when you the question is what? When you increase the length, whether it will not affect to the time period. Start thinking. Okay, and here for to understand this one, coming to this point, before coming to this point, when we release from this extreme position, okay, when we release from this extreme position, what is the force? Which kind of force will be responsible to take oscillation? Which kind of force? That is the restoring force. Okay, but the tensional force and the gravitational force here, I just means when I just, this one is the, what to say, gravitational force that is pulling down, and after this gravitational force is splitted into two forces. Another is this force in this direction, and another one is in this direction. Okay, this direction force will be cancelled with the tensional force. Okay, so for to oscillate this simple pendulum into motion, okay, only the restoring force will be, what to say, take place. Okay, tensional force value and this value means mg cos theta will be cancel each other. Why? The tensional force direction is towards the means in this direction. Okay, but and this one force, it will be in this direction. Okay, means opposite. That's why they are cancelling each other, which that's why we are neglecting tensional force and this one force. Okay, and only restoring force. Okay, so for to oscillate the simple pendulum into motion, only restoring force will be there. Okay, so when you increase the length, then what to say, whether this restoring force value will be constant or not? No. Means if you increase the, what to say, length, then the means here the amplitude will also be increased. Means to cover this larger amplitude, means it need to have larger force. Which kind of force? Means restoring force, right? Means when you increase the length, it means that when you increase the length, the restoring force that acts on the simple pendulum also increase. Okay, then because of that means that the force that is produced in the simple pendulum means which kind of force? Restoring force, that is used to bring in motion. Okay, means to bring in motion means what? For to bring in motion, it will produce, you need to produce larger acceleration. Okay, for to move any object, right, we need to have, that object need to have acceleration. Means if acceleration is larger, it will move faster. If acceleration is smaller, then it will move smaller. It will move means in slower speed. Okay, so increasing the restoring force, that will be increase the acceleration so that it will move faster. Okay, means here what will we get when you increase the length, amplitude is increased. Okay, means to cover this larger amplitude, or the restoring force that acts on this pendulum also need to be increased. Okay, if it is increased, then we can say it will produce larger acceleration so that it will move faster. So means here the time period, increasing the length of the pendulum, okay, increasing the length of the pendulum will not affect the time period of the pendulum. Because of why? Because of the restoring force is increased. If the restoring force is not increased, then time period of the pendulum will be affected. Okay, that's why we can say the time period is not directly proportional to length of the pendulum. If the length is increased, then time period will not be increased, it will be constant, right? So that's why I just write here some idea. When the length of the pendulum is increased, the restoring force that acts on pendulum will increase. Means I also mentioned it before. So because of that, if the restoring force is increased, so that it will produce larger acceleration. Okay, if the larger acceleration is there, then it will move faster. It will cover the same time before increasing the length. Okay, that's why increasing the time period, increasing the length will not increase the time period. It will be constant. That's why here the graph is not a straight line. You get the point? Now another one is what means we are going to discuss here about the variation of square of time. Means here I am just taking the square of time period with the length. Okay, here I am not going to discuss too much. When I derive the time period of the pendulum, I already discussed it. Means how the relation coming out. So here when you draw the graph between the square of the time period with the length, you are going to find out you will find a straight line. Means here when you increase the length and the square of the time period also increase, it means what? They are directly proportional to each other. Okay, or this relation also get from the formula also. Okay, don't be confused about it. I will show you something about here. It is the formula T equal to 2 pi root over L by Z. I also already derive it. From here you can do it, means taking the taking squaring on both sides, you will get T square for pi square L by Z. Means from this here we can say T square is directly proportional to length. Okay, here T square is directly proportional to length. Okay, and when you convert this directional proportionality into equal sign, it will coming out as constant. That is, I just take it as K. Okay, means and then I just divide the length on this side, T square by L. It will be K. Means here when you take the ratio of sense in the square of time period with the length, it will be coming out to be constant. This will be used in finding the slope. Okay, so just wait up to date. Now what I say, square of the time period, when you take the square on the time period of the pendulum, then what? It will be directly proportional to the length of the pendulum. That's why the graph is a straight line. Okay, in which condition we get a straight line? When we take the square on the time period. Okay, at the time also we get the this graph. Okay, and this graph is passing through the origin. Okay, on this x-axis I just take length of the pendulum, so I just take unit is centimeter, and on this side square of the time period, that's why I just take T square symbol is, and unit is second square. Okay, don't be confused about it. And now another is what I just discussed only this much, and now another is I am going to discuss about slope of, for finding the slope. Okay, for finding the slope, let me try to discuss about something here. First, Firstly, here it is the graph. Okay, means you are going to find out from this graph, you are going to find out the slope. For finding the slope, okay, slope means what? Steepness of the graph, or we can say how much angle that is obtained between this one with the horizontal axis. Okay, mainly steepness, we can just take it steepness, how much steep this graph is. Okay, means we are just going to consider with the horizontal axis, not the vertical. Okay, with the horizontal axis. Okay, and when the graph is like this, it is the x-axis, and it is the y-axis. When the graph is drawing like this, so slope will be 0 here. And when the graph is going like this, and here we are drawing the graph like this, here the slope of the graph will be coming out to be negative sign, decreasing. Okay, here, but here slope is increasing, steepness is increasing, right? So here positive value will be coming out. So mainly what I want to discuss here is means how to find out the slope, what the slope is. I say slope is steepness, but the main definition is what? So here means slope means what? It is defined as ratio of vertical change. Vertical change means what? You can say here it is on the y-axis is which is considered as vertical axis, and this one is going to x-axis is going to consider as horizontal axis. Don't be confused about it. Okay, we are going to take the ratio of vertical change. It's okay, vertical change between 2 points means you are going to consider 2 points on the graph, and between that 2 points you are going to take difference. First you are going to take difference on the vertical, next another is on the horizontal. So let me see about the definition first. To the horizontal change between the same 2 points, right? Here what I want to say here is means I am going to consider, here is the graph. Here I just take 2 points. One is I just take x1 y1 for indication, and another point is x2 y2. Okay, here x4 means for to find out the length of this x1 is on the x coordinate, x axis. Okay, for finding the x length of this x1, you are going to draw from this to perpendicular to the x axis. Okay, it will define from here to here, it will define the value of x1. Okay, for finding the y1, we are going to draw perpendicularly on the y axis. Okay, means from here to here it will give the value of y1. Okay, next another is this is the x2 y2, another point. So that these 2 points need to lie on the graph. Okay, for finding the slope, what are the conditions required? First you are going to take 2 points, that 2 points lie on the graph. Okay, after then you are going to take difference. Okay, so I just write the condition here. Means pick, for finding the slope, pick 2 points on the line means graph. Okay, and determine their coordinates. So I just determine their coordinate is x1 y1 x2 y2, and their length I just try to show it here also, how the x1 value is coming out, y1 value is coming out. Okay, then another one is determine the difference. Means after knowing the 2 points, you are going to take difference. Okay, take the difference. Take the difference in y coordinate, means on the y coordinate first. Okay, between these 2 points, means here this is the 2 points. Okay, first we are going to take the difference on the y coordinate. Means y coordinate means here y coordinates are y1 y2. Okay, means for taking the difference, we just take y2 minus y1, it will give the difference on the y coordinate. Next, another third step is take the difference on the x coordinate between these 2 points. Okay, not any other points, only these 2 points. Okay, next another is going to be x2 minus x1. This is the difference on the x coordinate. Okay, here another third step is take the difference in x coordinate between these 2 points. Okay, after then what is that we are going to do? Means after then you are going to take the ratio. Okay, how can we take the ratio? Means for finding the slope, this is the one. slope of the graph will be given by difference on y coordinate divided by difference on x coordinate. It will give the value, right? Means difference on y coordinate, how I find it? Y2 minus y1, right? Difference on x coordinate means what? Means x2 minus x1, right? Here, when I discuss about what? When I discuss about the variation of square of time period with the length of the pendulum, okay, here it is on this y-axis, we just take square of the time period here, and on this one, length of the pendulum, right? I just take 2 points here. Okay, don't be confused about it. Okay, and this means for to find out, I just take this one is x1 and y1, and this one is x2, y2, right? Corresponding to these 2 points, we are going to find out what to say, how what is the value of x1. For to find out the x1, I just take the perpendicular line on the x-axis. Here to here, it will give the value of x1, and y1 we here is, you are going to take like this. Okay, means it is the y1 value, right? Means on this, for we can take like this. So y1 means here to here, it is the y1. Okay, here to here, it is the x1. y1 means what? It is the, we can take as t1 square. Okay, and another one here is, don't be confused about it. Okay, and here to here we can take as, means here, don't be, it is the t2 square. Okay, means it is the y2 value. And here about what to say, here to here, it is the x2. x2 means what? It is the we can take as L2, and x1 means L1. Because why it is L1 and L2? Because on this x-axis we just take length of the pendulum. That's why I just take, for this x1 I just take the value is L1, and x2 means L2, and y1 means on this y coordinate y-axis is what? We just take t square, right? Means for y1 I just take t1 square, and y2 means t2 square, right? This, because of that I just substitute, instead of y2 equal to t2 square minus t1 square, okay, divided by L2 minus L1. It will give the value of what? Slope. Now we know it about how to find out the slope. Okay, after knowing the slope, from here what you say means, here means when you are going to take the difference t2 square minus t1 square, it means it is the difference between the, what is it, time period square. Okay, and denominator is difference between the length of the pendulum. Okay, means it is the ratio of square of the time period divided by length, right? When I discuss here also, means their value need to be constant. If it's not constant, then the graph will not be a straight line, right? If it is straight line, then the ratio should be need to be constant. Okay, so after getting this value, then you can get it, what to say, you can find out the, from this relation about the value of z. How can you can find out the value of z? Value of z can be determined equal to 4 pi square divided by slope of the graph. How this slope of the graph in the denominator? You see, I just take this whole as a, means what? It is the slope, because it is the same as this one. Okay, this one. So it is means it is means in the numerator it is the square of the time period, in the denominator it is the length of the pendulum. That's why it is a slope. It is the slope. Okay, it is a slope. And when you are going to z in this side, and the slope will be coming in the denominator side. That's why value of z can be determined by the ratio of 4 pi square divided by slope of the graph. It will define the, what to say, means value of z. Okay, so main condition what I want to say here is, for finding the slope, first you need to consider 2 points. That 2 points need to lie on the graph. Okay, after knowing the 2 points, you need to take difference. Okay, first you need to take difference on the y coordinate, y axis, means y coordinate. Okay, means for that 2 points you are going to take, what to say, y values also, y coordinate values also. Means you are going to take difference between that 2 points on the y coordinate. Okay, now I have finished y coordinate. Next I am going to take on the x coordinate. I know I just take it the difference. Last step is, means It is the ratio of difference in y coordinate divided by the difference in x coordinate. It will give the value of slope. It is the way of finding the slope. Don't be confused. Okay. Thank you, students.